Hello YouTube, Merry Christmas. Well, it's coming up soon. And I am here for another battle replay of Medieval 2 Total War. Now this was a 4v4 custom battle on the Britannia Campaign for Kingdoms expansion. So we were playing as a different campaign. Now it's one of my favorite expansions. They add a lot of cool units. I am playing as the Barons Alliance. Or at least I think that's how you would pronounce that. And so this is my army here. Okay, let's actually pause it. Big lag there. So you can see the balance of forces is evenly matched, so we might lose a lot. So before we look at my army, let's look at the other armies. So my ally to here is the Barons Alliance. This army right here is Scotland. And over here is Norway. So that's our side, and then the enemy teams are Wales, Ireland, England, and the Byzantine Empire. Or Byzantine, I never really knew how to pronounce that. Okay, so let's look at my army. So I did a lot of pretty nice flanking with my cavalry, and I chose a good supply of cavalry. Here's my general and this general's bodyguard unit. So he's gonna be charging with my cavalry. I have 2 units of these feudal knights and 2 units of demi lancers. Or I don't really know how to pronounce that. It's kind of complicated. But for my main infantry, I have 3 retinue longbowmen who set up some sharpened stakes here. Don't really think I find much use for them. And I also have probably 3 units of Sherwood archers. And then that's my that's my longbowman supply. Armored swordsmen, dismounted feudal knights, 2 dismounted feudal knights. Looks like a unit of another 3 dismounted feudal knight units. It looks like I have 2 units of dismounted English knights, 3 actually, and then 2 more units of armored swordsmen. So I have 3 units for each of those heavy infantry guys that the Barons Alliance possesses. Now you'll notice that the Barons Alliance has pretty much the same units as England. Now, I don't know much about the history of the Barons Alliance because it's not playable in the actual Britannia campaign. But they're a pretty cool faction, I think. I mean, if you like England, you'll like the Barons Alliance. My ally over here is also the Barons Alliance. They set up their army a bit more differently. They have 2 units of retinue longbowmen up here. And then they have plenty of infantry. Right after their longbowmen, they have a long line of dismounted feudal knights and armored swordsmen. I'd say 2 units of armored swordsmen, and then maybe 4 units of 3 units of armored swordsmen, 3 units of dismounted feudal knights, and then behind them are 3 more units of dismounted English knights by the looks of it. And then behind that, their cavalry consists of 2 English knights, 1 English knight, 1 demi lancer, and 1 feudal knight. And then they have some mortars here, 3 of them, and then their general and their bodyguard unit back there. So they have 3 mortars, so they actually have artillery. Let's take a look at Scotland's army. They have several units of noble Highland archers. I think that's 4. And behind them is a good supply of dismounted feudal knights and Highland nobles. Highland nobles aren't as good as dismounted field knights, but behind them are even more powerful infantry, noble swordsmen. These guys are really good. I thought I saw someone with this feather in his helmet. That would be pretty cool. So yeah, they have a long line of noble swordsmen back there. Then they also have a good supply of maybe 4-5 units of noble pikemen. I can't really tell, there's kind of trees in the way. And they don't have a lot of cavalry, they just have this general bodyguard unit with their general in it. Let's take a look at Norway's army. So they have plenty of archers. They actually have a long line of crossbowmen, so they brought crossbows into this. Right there, they have a pretty good position on top of this hill. They have some Sami axemen. They're okay units, they're not the best. Some sword staff militia, which are like a pike line, not actually very good units either. But 2 units of dismounted chivalric knights, which can pack a punch. And then behind them are a line of dismounted field knights. Just dismounted field knights by the looks of it. I don't know, that's maybe 4 or 3 units. Yeah, 4. They actually have quite a bit of cavalry. Starting with this side, they have a unit of chivalric knights. Great cavalry, and then they have another unit of chivalric knights to this side. More chivalric knights. And then Norse war clerics. Now I don't know if these guys are that well, but I kind of chose them for experimental because they had these pretty darn cool looking maces. So I decided to try them out for Norway. And they're bodyguard in this general's unit. So let's real quick take a look at our enemies, starting with Wales, who's kind of like pushed back behind this building. They don't have any archers, but they have these riflers, which are axemen. That looks like maybe 3 units, and then to these side is 3 units of Marianid spearmen and spear militia, or I don't know. They have some Welsh militiamen and peasants right here. They have more heavier infantry, Gwent raiders. Never mind. Welsh militiamen over here, some spear militia and peasants. More peasants and their generals in this unit of Welsh militiamen. So now going to Ireland, they have Ulster swordsmen, Galacayach, Clyatharian, a lot of these Keithern, which are like little guys with axes and shields. Ostmen, which are, and then DZ javelin men, which are actually not javelin men. I don't know why. Some more of those Viking guys. DZ more javelin men, Ostmen, javels, and then some peasants with their general in it. England army. Bill militia, levy spearmen, spear militia, town militia, levies, spear militia, peasants, armored sergeants, and then their general is in a peasant unit. The Byzantine Empire, who I'm facing. Byzantine infantry, dismounted Byzantine lancers, Byzantine spearmen, town militia, Byzantine spearmen, peasants, more peasants, spear militia, town militia, Byzantine spears, town militia, and general and a unit of peasants. So, I would think we'd win this battle. I usually don't lose battles, so if we actually lost a battle, I'm pretty sure I would remember. So yeah, I'm beginning to move up my infantry to kind of get the Byzantines into a fight, because they're not doing anything. They're just kind of moving their army around. So I'm kind of moving my army behind them, and I set up my cavalry in the middle of my guys and the other Barons Alliance and then enemies that they're facing. So Ireland and Scotland collided with their infantry, and it looks like England's going to kind of go with them, or no, yeah, they are, but they are taking some heavy fire from my allies' longbowmen, who are, I don't think they're firing anymore, but the Barons Alliance is moving to help these guys. But Scotland's pretty much dealing with them, not having that much trouble getting them. You can see these noble swords are very strong units. They're tearing up these swordsmen and Viking guys. The Highland nobles taking a few losses, but also tearing up these guys. So, Barons Alliance is setting up a position with their longbowmen. And just so you're not confused, I'm Captain France, and my AI ally is Captain Barnaby. But, England and the Barons Alliance are about to collide. He actually charged them from behind with their cavalry. They did some damage, but now these town militia can begin to start tearing up these feudal knights because they are spearmen, or at least have a significant advantage over cavalry. So I was first to move up my infantry, because the Byzantines were just walking their infantry, so I was ahead of the Byzantines on this one. My cavalry is still in this setup position, but you'll find that in later parts of this battle I'm going to be moving them around a lot. So it's kind of chaos. So Barnaby's infantry is coming to help out their cavalry. They're already beginning to rout. But now Ireland and England have like kind of just taken up side to side against Captain Barnaby and Scotland. They're also side by side. Ireland's set up this position, moving in his troops this direction, and like this big fat line here, which makes him kind of vulnerable. But Norway kind of just moved his army to the side, kind of in a way to back up Scotland, but they're they're setting up their line of crossbowmen to try to take fire. They've already sent up some crossbowmen, so their army's beginning to mix up with Scotland's. And then Barnaby's also moved, and so yeah. So this is when our armies kind of get clustered, and then of course with Norway moving in, Wales is going to be going in the same direction. And the Byzantines are still coming in. Let's see what I'm doing with my infantry. So I did a straight-on side charge with my cavalry. It was actually pretty effective. I charged their general's unit actually. I think that's their general's unit at least. But yeah, these peasants are not going to have very good. Yeah, they were starting to rout. But, so, I moved up my infantry, and my longbowmen started taking fire. But they're all routing, so I'm moving down my infantry to kind of follow the Byzantines. While my cavalry did this massive side charge. And so now they're just moving straight on ahead to the unexpected units that were before. And every time I move on to something new, it just causes a mass rout. But part of the problem I'm having is that unrouted Byzantine units are coming from behind. Or are they? I don't know. Well, you can see our progress bar went way up, and now victory is almost a certainty. You can definitely see that we pretty well cleared up this area of Englishmen. So England's, all of these guys are literally caught just mass routing. So I saw Barnaby has been moving around his cavalry similarly to I, but he's not doing it as effectively. So I decided to draw my cavalry out. Unfortunately, this demi-lancer unit got caught behind. You can see I lost several cavalry there, because these are mainly spearmen, but I was tearing them up pretty well. But there's still tons of Byzantine units that were more up front that haven't routed yet. So Barnaby's troops and Scotland's are kind of just moving around. Their next target is definitely Wales though, and Grimm's already Norway, aka Norway, has already begun to send infantry to take care, as well as Captain Barnaby. They side charge this Welsh militiamen that automatically rout. Actually, there looks like there's two that haven't routed. I don't even think these guys, yeah, but Barnaby has pretty, yeah, and so in a routed unit of peasants that kind of glitched and stayed still, I was able to kill their general with some cavalry. So that was a big blow to the Byzantines, and we dealt pretty much with Ireland and England. So, but Wales has a pretty nice, good army, and you can see all these units are routing because I'm just charging in my cavalry into them. This is Barnaby's cavalry. These guys aren't routing because they actually have a pretty darn good advantage against these guys. I back charged this town militia unit who routed, and then my cavalry is kind of joining up with Barnaby's. But our cavalry are getting tired and winded, especially my infantry, because I don't really use them. They've been just kind of coming along, kind of following. And my archers are more fresher, but they're even farther behind. I want to get them in position, but the main thing that I'm doing right now is actually is moving around my cavalry here and there. And Scotland's doing somewhat of the same thing, and more so Barnaby is too. But mainly Scotland and Barnaby. And that would be that would probably be the Irish general. So yeah. So it's down to the wire. We pretty much won this battle. Wales is still something that we're all dealing with, and these spearmen are giving these Norwegian cavalry some hard time. I'd say that they lost a fair amount of men so far, though. Here comes my cavalry, finally coming to wrap these guys up. I don't know, would that be Wales or... I think that was Wales, because it was like the green color. Which would be a serious hit for Wales. So yeah, see, it probably was, because these guys are now just all routing from my feudal knights. I'm chasing them down, but at the same time I'm looking to see if there's any Whale troops that haven't routed yet. Because clearly the battle hasn't been won yet. So yeah, near the end our troops were just literally clustered everywhere. Yep, clear victory. I lost 93 men, and that's just cavalry. Possibly some of my infantry when I kind of collided in the back of the Byzantines with them. But that would be mainly cavalry. I did kill tons of men though. 326. I took 1,148 as prisoner. That's pretty good. Barnaby did amazing. He took 1,237. That's way more than all of us. But he took 4,410 freaking prisoners. That is pretty impressive. But yeah. That's pretty freaking impressive. Scotland did okay. They did killed 660 men. That's more than I did. They took 749 men as prisoner. And Norway, they didn't really do too well, especially compared to how much they lost. They lost the most men but killed the least, and took the least prisoners. 135 prisoners, 303 men killed, and that's not too good. I only lost 93 men. Barnaby lost 242. Scotland lost 397, and Norway lost 420. England had a very small amount of troops remaining. I don't think their general actually died, so, and all these guys kind of just came after them, all my allies. Wales killed a pretty fair amount, actually, more than Norway. They killed more than Norway and more than I did, and they took more prisoners in Norway. The rest of the guys didn't take any prisoners, but they didn't kill that much men. Let's look at those statistics actually for my guys. My bodyguard, my cavalry did the best, but you can see for all my infantry, it's all zeros, just all zeros. My longbowmen did okay. They didn't do as well as I would have liked, but yeah. My longbowmen and infantry lost a few guys, but my cavalry definitely sustained the most, especially that last unit of demi-lancers. They gained the most experience, but they lost the most men. I think this is how many men were left after the battle. Yeah, this Demi Lancer, one of my Demi Lancer unit got pretty bad. Look at how many prisoners this unit of Feudal Knight caught. That's a fair amount. Pretty fair amount. Oh, it does. So let's look at Barnaby, because he took so many prisoners. Well, his cavalry took tons of prisoners. Their infantry did really good too. They sustained several casualties, but they inflicted some other guys. So I guess it only showed the ones for the Barons Alliance. Well, guys, that's a battle. We only lost 14%, so we did pretty well in this battle. Especially Barnaby. Give it up for Barnaby. That was pretty good. I think I had good tactics with my horses. One thing I didn't like was charging straight into the middle of the Byzantines just to try to get their general. Their general eventually did die, but it wasn't when I actually struck their side like that. And then they came from behind and then ahead. And they all routed. Wales was the last army because they were so far behind. That's another flaw with our enemies. Wales was so far behind they couldn't assist anybody. So Norway kind of just left them back there and assisted Scotland and Barnaby. Norway did lose the most men, probably because Barnaby and Scotland weren't there to aid him in his war against Wales. All of these horses are probably either my guys or Norway. And I would have helped Norway, but I was on the clear other side of the map. So 4v4, guys, hope you enjoyed this. I liked it. All these battles are fun. More coming your way. Merry Christmas and goodbye. Hello, YouTube. Merry Christmas. It's coming up soon. And I am here for another battle replay of Medieval 2 Total War. Now, this was a 4v4 custom battle on the Britannia Campaign for Kingdoms expansion. So we were playing as a different campaign. Now, it's one of my favorite expansions. They add a lot of cool units. I am playing as the Barons Alliance. Or at least I think that's how you would pronounce that. And, so, this is my army here. Okay, let's actually pause it. Big lag there. So you can see, the balance of forces is evenly matched, so we might lose a lot. So before we look at my army, let's look at the other armies. So my ally to the right to here is the Barons Alliance. This army right here. Okay, so let's look at my army. So I did a lot of pretty nice flanking with my cavalry, and I chose a good supply cavalry. Here's my general and this general's bodyguard unit. So he's gonna be charging with my cavalry. I have 2 units of these Feudal Knights and 2 units of Demi Lancers. Or I don't really know how to pronounce that. It's kind of complicated. But for my main infantry, I have 3 Renton longbowmen who set up is Scotland. And over here is Norway. So that's our side, and then the enemy teams are Wales, Ireland, England, and the Byzantine Empire. Or Byzantine, I never really knew how to pronounce that. Some sharpened stakes here. Don't really think I find much use for them. And I also have probably 3 units of Sherwood archers, and then that's my that's my longbowman supply. Armored swordsmen, dismounted feudal knights, 2 dismounted feudal knights. Looks like 2 a unit of another 3 dismounted feudal knight units. It looks like I have 2 units of dismounted